There are going to be times where a solid color just isn't going to cut it for you. You're going to want to add a little bit of depth or a little bit of realism, and this is where gradients come in. If you take a look at the image that's currently open, you can see that this solid color shape here is okay, but if you take a look at the color, it goes from dark up at the top to somewhat lighter down here at the bottom based upon the light source. So obviously the light source is coming up from the bottom and falling off at the top. So what we're going to do is dig into working with gradients. And to get yourself started, open up the o2_gradient.png file located in your exercise folder. And when it opens, I want you just to click once on the solid blue area of the screen. That's that shape that is on the fuselage. And we're going to add a gradient to it. Now, gradients are added right here in the Properties panel. If you click on Solid and scroll down, you can see there's gradient. And there are all kinds of them available to you. Linear gradients, radial gradients, rectangular gradients, cones, contours, all kinds of them here. Waves, ripples, bars. And to add a gradient, what you do is you just select the type of gradient you want. In this case, we're going to go with a linear gradient. And when it is applied, you'll see that there's a line here. And we'll deal with this in a second. But first off, let's change the color of the gradient. And to change the color of the gradient, you just click on the color chip and the gradient panel opens up. There's the start color, there's the end color. By the way, these things are called crayons. And if I want to change the color, all I do is just click on a crayon and choose a different color. And you can see that I've got the gradient going through the image here. Now that's a little on the bright side, so I'm going to make it a little bit darker. And that's a little bit too bright still. So let's come over here. Oh, that's better. And what we can do, now that we've got this done, is you can just click on the image, and these are the gradient handles. And if I move the handle up, you can see that the gradient moves with it. I can get it to go from light to dark, and I can even swing the linear gradient to sort of match the angle of the light source. Now, if I want to have the center point of the gradient or the end point of the gradient somewhere else, all I have to do is just pull this handle up a bit, pull this one down, and let's just assume we want it to go from light to dark, so I'll just switch the position. I'll just take that, we pull this down here, and then you just pull the gradient up until you get the shade you want. Other things that you can do, if you click on the color chip, you can actually add an intermediate color just by simply clicking between the two crayons and then just choosing an intermediate color, as you can see there. And if you don't want to use that color, just pull it right off the line and away it goes. So there you go. There's working with gradients. It's rather simple to do. The key to working with gradients is match the light source and at the same time play with the gradient handles to manage how the gradient is going to work.